Today's video is a vulnerable one for me. Something I've never really talked about online, but something I find extremely important to talk about. Today we're going to talk about my real skin journey because I didn't just wake up with glowy skin. I earned it. For a long time, it was so bad. It was bad that I would hide from camera. I would cancel plans if I had a big zit. I dreaded going to work on days that I was having really bad inflammation because nothing really seemed to work. Anytime I would cover things up, it would just almost look 10 times worse. Now I know there's someone right now watching this and going through the same thing, so this one's for you. Hey you guys, this is May Kavanaugh, and welcome back to my channel. I was really nervous about sharing today's episode. It's very vulnerable. I think it's important to learn from one another. And I know that if I had gone to YouTube and found someone with the similar struggles and the moments that I was going through it, it would have been extremely helpful. This was me in 2019. Painful cystic acne, full of scars and red inflammation. I remember I would be commuting to work and I would wake up every morning super early just praying that my makeup that day wouldn't crack and I would be able to cover just a little bit of those acnes that were consistently inflamed. I remember during this era, I tried everything, and I mean everything. Drugstore cleansers, peel, antibiotics, any little hack that I would also find on the internet. I remember once I even rubbed banana peel on my skin because I heard that that would reduce inflammation. Back then, if someone told me to rub pineapple on my face, even eat dog poop, and it would fix my acne, I would have done it in a heartbeat. And I want to be very honest here. It wasn't just physical. Acne messed with my entire confidence. I avoided photos, canceled plans. I would cry before events. Couldn't even get myself to look at the mirror and like what I saw. I felt like when I was having really bad flare-outs and I would go out, people would stare at my acne and not at me. And I would see them and feel them staring at my acne. I remember there was one time I was commuting to work and I had such bad breakouts. I'm talking multiple huge zits all over my chin, my forehead, my cheeks, just everywhere. And there was one zit on my chin that was really bad. I mean, it looked like a volcano from how bad it was. It was huge, massive, full of pus. And this was before the time of acne stickers. So at least I didn't know that they existed back then. And so there was no really covering it up. And I remember the night before I had picked up my skin so bad that it made the zit 10 times bigger, 10 times more inflamed. It was bad. And I knew it was going to be bad and I knew I was going to have trouble covering it. I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to get up a little bit early. I'm going to go a different route because I know for a fact I won't see anyone I know. I wake up early, I take my different route, I walk into my first Subway and face first, an old high school crush, and we just walk face to face. And I remember just being like, of course this is happening right now. And I remember him speaking to me and he could only stare at my zit. And I don't blame him. I don't blame anyone because it is so massive that you're so curious and want to look. But I just remember feeling so defeated and walking into work just like, I'm so tired of this. I genuinely feel like people don't see me. They see my acne. They don't see me. You know, when I talk about my journey, I don't recall the exact moment that I had the aha moment of actually seeking help, but I do remember my first dermatologist that my mom took me to, and that was when I tried my first peel. I remember I did them consistently for a few months, and it just wasn't working, and it was almost irritating my skin a little bit more. So I ended up giving up on this. I went back to her a few times and didn't really feel very heard. It was just like smacking on different products on me, and a lot of them were from her dermatology line, so it didn't feel genuine. I went to a few more dermatologists just to get second opinions to see what was going on because I never had acne growing up. I never had acne as a teen in college. I mean, I would have breakouts here and there, but never to the point of where my skin was at this moment in my life. And I will say, looking back during this era of my life, it was a hard one for me. It was my early 20s. I was figuring myself out. I was also going to my first job, different stressors in life. I had a new group of friends. I had drifted away from a lot of my high school friends. So it was a moment for me of self-discovery. And with that, I remember in this moment too, I would go out a lot. I was really enjoying my young, wild, and free New York City girly life. So my health and wellness were never really my priority in those moments. Weird, right? I ended up finding another dermatologist who ended up really understanding where I was coming from. She worked with me for a few months and came to the point where she said, you know what? Let's try something more aggressive because this is more of an internal thing than it is external. We went on Accutane. I did Accutane for about 6 months, and I remember it being really intense at first. The first month you purge, so your acne turns 10 times worse, which for me, at that point, I was used to it, but I also had nothing else to lose. But then 6 months went by. I ended up having to quit drinking. While you're on Accutane, one of the things that is super crucial is that you don't drink alcohol. So naturally ended up going out less, naturally ended up being a little bit healthier. Accutane done, feeling really good. My skin looked like skin for the first time in so many years. I felt like a whole new person, and that moment is when COVID hit. So we had no option but to stay inside, and guess what? Home workouts became a thing. That's when I got into fitness. I got into fitness, and health and wellness journey began during COVID. It was one of those things that I felt like was a huge blessing in disguise for me because it made me isolate myself to the point where I had no choice but to look in the mirror and face the things that I was running away from all those years. Fast forward now to 2023. Felt like for 2 to 3 years, I was going really strong. Then my boyfriend at the time, my husband now, came to LA for a job opportunity. Of course, we came together so excited, but my skin started to react. I don't know if it was a combination of being stressed over this move with the combination of also being in a new environment. LA is very dry. So environmentally, it differs drastically from New York's temperature. So my skin had a reaction and it was back to breakouts. I panicked. I feel if you've had acne before, you can probably relate, and instantly started my search for a dermatologist. Went through a few, but I found one. And if you're in the LA area, I could not recommend Dr. Salzman more. She's in Beverly Hills and she is a dime. She listened, she understood my journey, she understood my history, and she acted. She put me on spironolactone with a combination of Eraslo, which are two products that work together to combat acne and fine line for, anti-aging. I'm 31 now, so keep in mind that these things now have turned into other concerns. So for me, it's really to maintain and age gracefully and prevent my skin from breaking out. So spironolactone is a medication that essentially helps women controlling their acne by blocking testosterone effects in the body. It's so interesting, right? It's actually a drug that treats a lot of different things, but that is one of them. And it's a pill that I've been on for the last 2 years that I've seen the most drastic change for me. On top of that, I use Eraslo, which is similar to that of tretinoin. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit newer to market. It is still a retinoid, vitamin A, so it will have the same effects, but it's a little bit gentler than tretinoin. I've been on Eraslo for about a year now, and I love it. I think this combination for me is the best combination to maintain and prevent and allow me to age gracefully. This is my skin today. It's not perfect, but it's healthy. It's calm and it feels like me again. And that alone is everything. You're in the middle of this right now. Don't give up. Fight for yourself. Research, ask questions, because everyone deserves to feel good in their skin. The biggest lesson that I learned with all of this, I completely changed my lifestyle. Today, I focus on eating good, moving my body, really focusing on the things that make me feel good from the inside, not just the outside. I think with age, you have this sense of maturity where your priorities change. And something that changed for me is that my health is my main priority. Your skin is going to scream when you're not doing things to treat it well. So for me, it was a huge wake-up call when I simply quit drinking and things started to look a little bit better. When I take time to actually go to bed early, seeing my body change and respond to the things that I do to treat it is part of this journey. It's your whole life. It's how you eat, how you manage, how you sleep, how you support your hormones, your gut, your mind, the list goes on. When I started treating my body, not just my face, that's when everything shifted for me. I spent years fighting for my skin, and today I'm grateful for it because it forced me to take care of myself. It humbled me, it made me strong, and it showed me that beauty is not about perfection, it's about peace. But if this helps one person feel less alone, then it's worth sharing. So if you resonated with this video, like, share, and comment below. I can't wait to connect with you.